Are you a leader, a parent, and maybe you're caring for elderly relatives? This one's for you. Imagine it's 9:30 in the morning and you get the call. It's not Ofsted. It's actually your child's school. They're sick, they've got a temperature, and they need to come home. How does your heart sink? You look at your calendar, you've got a safeguarding meeting in an hour, you've got a parent coming in to see you an hour after that, and then you've got a planning meeting with SLT, and perhaps the governors are coming in. How do you fit that in? How do you juggle that? Or perhaps you get that call that your parent has had a fall and they need you. They need you urgently. But look at your calendar. How do you manage that as a human being, as a parent, as a child, as a sister? Doesn't matter. Whatever your relationships, stuff goes on at home, doesn't it? And that's what we're going to be confronting today. How do you manage it? How can you be enough? Because otherwise, we head towards burnout. And that's the struggle. Because you see, you can handle that parent complaint. You can handle the idea of Ofsted, of the data, what's happening with it, of the safeguarding incident. You can handle it when things at home are going well. But what happens when they're not? Is it going to tip you one way or another? Or is it slowly going to eat you up and head you towards burnout because you're trying to be everything for everyone? But I suggest today that you don't have to be responsible for everything and everybody. I really want you to hear that today because the juggle is real. Perhaps you've got a child with special needs. Perhaps you've got elderly parents. Perhaps you've got young children, teenage children who aren't perhaps doing what you would like them to be doing. I've been there, I get it. So the juggle is a reality for the majority of us. And what can we do about it? You see, the warning signs that we need to look at are there. Have you noticed that you're more snappy? That you're perhaps snappy with the ones that you love the most at home, not just short at work, but also at home? Does everything seem urgent suddenly? And even the small things, they become big things. What about your memory? Are you remembering things? And how's your body feeling? Is your jaw constantly clenched or is your shoulders up like this? Are you getting headaches? Are you watching for warning signs that actually you're taking too much on yourself and not thinking about, is there another way to do it? So here's the big question. Do you have to be responsible for everything? Or maybe you could be the enabler, enabling your team so that you can survive through this patch of life being a juggle. Because otherwise, can I suggest you are going to break or crash, basically to burn out? We don't want that. Really don't want that. So, what can you do right now? So, I'm going to suggest the bravest thing is to go and speak to somebody. Do you have a colleague, a line manager, someone you can talk to about what's going on and look at options? What might that be? Could you suggest that sometimes you work from home because, my goodness, you get more done if you work from home? The question is, are you a little bit of a control freak? And do you think if you work from home, that suddenly is the school going to collapse? Because if that is the case, may I suggest that you've got a whole nother problem? Because are you enabling your team to leave the school while you're not there? What happens if you get ill for a week? Can they cope? Yes, of course they cope. But is there some training or some enabling that you could do that would reduce the responsibility level on yourself? There's nothing to be ashamed of here. We all have messy lives at home, don't we? And we need to be supporting each other through that. So go speak to somebody. The second suggestion I've got is to consider your boundaries. Now, we talk a lot about boundaries, don't we? And it's a bit of a dirty word sometimes. But actually, saying no kindly, it's not rude, it's sensible. And actually, it's saying to yourself, No, I'm not going to do that today, but perhaps you could do it. No, I can't step into that lunch duty today. I'm so sorry, but I'll find someone else who can. Or could you find someone else who can? Saying no to things is a strength and it's not selfish. But what about another boundary? For example, blocking out some of your diary that means you could leave early or you get a proper lunch break. Or actually, if someone comes into your room when you're eating lunch and they say, "Oh, I can see you're eating back," you say, "Yes, I'm eating. Could you come back in 10 minutes?" Can you see about putting in some boundaries for you? And what about starting to be kind to yourself? What could you do today that would show yourself some kindness? Could you just remember for a minute the things that you can celebrate that you've done in the last week? What have you achieved? It's amazing how that changes your brain, your thinking. What about reminding yourself that you are good enough and actually nothing needs to be its best all the time? You don't need to do everything to the absolute best. It could be good enough just while you're juggling. Does good enough feel okay? Not always, sometimes maybe. Could you do some things just good enough? Or is there a meeting you don't need to attend? Perhaps someone else could go for you, or perhaps they could have the meeting without you. How does that feel? Take some time for you. Today, permission granted. Be human. We all struggle, and that's okay. So admit it. Tell someone, tell your team. They'll get it because that's normal life. You don't need to be infallible. Be real, be vulnerable. So seek help and protect yourself. If you know someone that needs to hear this, do send them this video because it might help them.